Man like Robbie, welcome along to MLR Daily. Some really surprising news yesterday that Sam Allardyce has resigned as the manager of Crystal Palace. Now, it was only 5 months ago that he took up the post and his remit was to keep Crystal Palace in the Premier League, which he achieved. And it was no mean feat because Palace were in a pretty poor state when he took over, but he achieved that, kept them in the division. And the thought was that he was going to build on what was a pretty decent team at Crystal Palace. But he has resigned, surprisingly, yesterday. And he issued a statement. The statement said, "I have no ambitions to take another job. I want to be able to save a life while I'm still relatively young. And when I'm still healthy enough to do all the things that I want to do, like travel, spend more time with my family and grandchildren without the huge pressure that comes with being a football manager. This is the right time for me. I simply want to be able to enjoy all the things you cannot enjoy with the 24/7 demands of managing a football club, let alone one in the Premier League." And Sam Allardyce, by the way, only 62 years of age, sounds like he's bowing out of management permanently. I mean, I don't know. I just can't. Why? It just seems a weird one to me. I mean, we don't know the pressures that these managers are under, a huge pressure, as he explains there in his statement. But is that the end of Sam Allardyce as a manager? I just get the feeling that, you know, come towards the end of next season, you know, just after Christmas, say, when a lot of teams are flirting with relegation, he might be getting that call once again. But certainly there, it sounds like Sam Allardyce wants to take a rest from the game. And he's had a lot of pressure. I remember he was manager of England. He lost that job. It was his ambition to get that job, and he ended up losing that job with the whole scandal around, you know, this fake shake and that. But it's, I don't know, it's pretty sad for me to see Sam Allardyce going out like this, if indeed this is the end of his managerial career. Listen, the big game tonight is Ajax versus Manchester United in the final of the Europa League. Now, you know what? A lot of people pour scorn on the Europa League and say, it's a little second-rate competition. But for Manchester United and Ajax tonight, they want to win a European trophy, and it is big for them. And, of course, the prize is not really the trophy, but the fact that you get automatic qualification into the Champions League. And for Manchester United, that is absolutely essential. And we've seen Jose Mourinho over the past few weeks really put all his eggs into one basket and really make winning the Europa League his top priorities, rested players, and he's really going to go for this one. And, you know, it would be a good season, I think, if Manchester United end up winning the Europa League and qualify for Europe. If they don't, I'd say it would be a poor season for Jose Mourinho. They were poor in the league. I know they won the League Cup, but for a club of Manchester United's stature, the League Cup alone does not suffice. And Mourinho will know that, and that's why he has really been concentrating hard on this. And they're coming up against an Ajax team that, you know, don't write off Ajax. I mean, they're a very young team. There's some familiar faces there in the management, in Edwin van der Sar. Of course, he's been Manchester United's goalkeeper. He's a general director at Ajax. Mark Overmars, former Arsenal player, he's the director of football there. And Ajax have pulled out a few surprises already this season. They beat Schalke when they weren't favourites to do that, and they also beat Lyon in the semi-finals as well. So they're not going to be an easy team to beat. Not great in defence, Ajax, but coming forward, they are very dangerous. And we've seen this season that Manchester United, you know, haven't always been at their best, but they will have to be at their best if they're going to beat Ajax. It should be a great final in Stockholm tonight. It's really hard to call, but you would expect Manchester United to get over the line and get that big prize of getting into the Champions League. One final thing on Joey Barton. We could have seen the end of Joey Barton as well, not just Sam Allardyce. Joey Barton has been released by Burnley Football Club. Of course, Joey Barton was suspended for 18 months on a gambling charge from the Football Association. He broke gambling rules, and Burnley have now released him. Remember, he only returned to Burnley in January after a really unsuccessful time at Glasgow Rangers. And it could be the last we've seen Joey Barton playing on a football pitch in the Premier League. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about who has won the Europa League.
Man like Robbie.